So the story is when I went to Spain and we were there to shoot for like a DVD, but at the same time, it's the Gay Porn Awards. And I have a whole story about, I'm a straight white guy, right? And I wrote the script and everything for this thing. And like I don't stick around for the sex, but like for all the dialogue and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this is how you should do, and this is what you should say here, and blah 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 blah.
And then you're like, I'm out.
And then I'm out. Well, again, like it's not even because of like, oh, this is whatever. It's like literally like I'm no help now.
Yeah.
I can't do it. If it's the girls, I'm like, yo, just move this, stop, do this, whatever. But like for the dudes, I'm like, looks great, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm out.
So, but like, and I have like this whole story of like I'm there and we're shooting for 5 days straight, and there's all these like super nice people that I meet, these stars, people that go around the world and shoot all around the world. They have their friends and like, let me add you on my Instagram.
Yeah, that must be crazy.
And like Spanish people and this and that. And then we go to the porn awards, and I'm sitting at one of like the main tables and having a fantastic time. And the whole story is about like, then I was like, okay, and like fucking car that we rented got towed because it's like the scam that they got with the police, and they wouldn't give me my car back, and this whole story. And the whole point is we're at the only straight club in this Torremolinos, which is like the super gay Spain. It makes our village look like a Trump rally, bro. It's like it's like just and I'm like there with like one of the guys that we represent. Like he's like one of the biggest gay stars right now in the industry, and he's fucking like 6'4", and he's super built. He's 21. He's an Adonis,
Yeah,
and I walk next to him. I feel like fucking Danny DeVito, and like everybody in the city just like, oh my god, he's here. Oh my god. And so they're staring at him, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy, right? Like the whole story, and then we're at the one straight club, and then the guy's like, I can get some blow, and I'm like, well, okay, we're in Spain.
It's fucking dude.
All week with fucking
blow's nothing.
No. And then the whole thing is that we go to like this, like the place that has the blow is this like cruise club. Bro, you think fucking dudes are dirty? Like this is a hookup gay club. You leave the consent at the door, bro.
Hold up, Felicia. Hey, stop bumping my phone. My phone blowing up. Come on, you need to go home. Get out. Call me Felicia. High school romance. Aww. Now you got a boyfriend. Come on. And I'm still a drug addict. Hold up. I need a fucking blow up. I need a fucking bang. I need some fucking ring. I need a bang.
I've never tried dick pills.
I sold them. Like I said, I'm an operations consultant. I was working for a company that sold like
what company?
I won't name drop the company, but they sold like I helped them with their whole like support system and software. Usually I use Create software to help operations. That's my bag, and it was like Levitra. No, not Levitra. Sorry, sildenafil and tadalafil. And tadalafil, 5 milligrams. Like most doctors say, like people should just be on it all the time because like the tadalafil compounds 3 days in your system. That's the Cialis. So you always walk around with like 15 if you take the dailies, and it's like better for your circulation and stuff like that. So all these things came from testing for blood for heart conditions. You know that?
Right. Yeah. Just for blood flow. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Like basically, the Viagra was found out because a bunch of dudes and old dudes were like testing heart medicine.
He's like, yo, my heart's fucked, but my dick's hard.
No, but there was like 95. Like they're fucking ragers, bro.
Yeah.
They're like sick. Fuck hearts, bro. Heart ons, bro. So,
Heart on.
And because I was basically assisting selling dick pills so much. When I started for stand-up, I'm like, yeah, I work in like porn and dick pills. I get more guys hard than any woman in this room.
Dude, actually, probably like more guys hard than like a lot of people.
Cleopatra, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But
like
the whole dick pill
star.
thing, the tadalafil.
Tadalafil reminds me of another drug, because the ending is the same thing. But it's a drug that's legal in France, and that they give to it's like a stimulant kind of adrenafil.
Adrenochrome.
Adrenafil, and they give it to. It's legal in France, but it's illegal here, and they give it to the people that are like old because it's a stimulant and it's relatively like safe. Okay. But I tried it and it's trash. But anyways, I feel it might be in the same.
It's probably circulation wise and everything, but that's what they're saying. Like they're saying that So we used to sell the 20 milligrams is kind of like a more like on demand. I want to use it now. But then there was an offer which is like 5 milligrams a day, and it's supposed to help you, like, you know, when people have like problems with their prostate, when you get older you have to piss all the time. It helps like reduce your swelling in your prostate, and you're like getting hard-ons and you're in a good mood. So it's like they're like, just fucking get on the 5 milligram dailies, and you're because it compounds for 3 days. So that means like you're always walking around like 15 to 20 by day 3, just ready to go. And then like, you know, it's just. I was just happy because all these people are like, you're like, yo, bro, man, thanks, dude. I'm like, yo, fucking no problem, bro.
Changed my life.
Dude, you understand? Like, I was working with people in the States and they're calling me up. Like, I would spot calls and I would test my own software. The idea for my software is always like, I work with like really smart programmers and stuff. You know, it's always a team effort. But like, how do I give them all the tools they need while they're on phone calls and to be able to track this and track that and give you a logiciel with all of your shit in your face, and you can do this and that, upsell it.
Enhance,
you know? So I would spot, or I would take these calls every now and then. And he's got these like fucking like, sometimes like these southern dudes. They're like, you know, they have like an F-350 and shotguns and shit. They're like, yeah, man, it's just, you know, look, man, it's just like, I won't fuck my wife. You know, Buck. So it's just, you know, yeah, I'm like, dude. And I would say that, I'm like, dude, like I would listen to them. I'm like, this is how this guy wants me to talk to. I'm like, bro, don't worry about it, man. Just, what's up? It's like, yeah, you know, I can't fuck her. You know what I'm saying? I can't get hard. You know, like I'm gonna hook you up, bro. I'm like 2 minutes away from changing your whole life. And I'd be like, yo, I'm sending you a link. Fill out the form. A doctor's gonna approve your shit, and you're gonna get your pills. And that would happen, and they would just text back to be like, dude, fucking dude.
Dude, yeah. You have no idea.
But
saved my marriage.
I've seen those websites. There's a lot more
like
of them.
hymns and all that. And
yeah. There's a lot of them now. But I was wondering, when they say it's getting approved by a doctor, is that
it is. It's a nurse practitioner or a doctor. So that was part of the software. Again, on the flip side, I made it for like nurses and doctors, so they would just be able to like take a patient. And then I went through the
application
questionnaire in detail to understand each section. And I would say I would work with different people and say like, hey, what's pertinent? If they say no to this, do you want to see it? This, that. So like it would show up in their face, but they would get all the pertinent information, questions that were like related to heart medication, blah, 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 blah. And so they would go through it, boom. And I got approval time down to like if the person was good and they were like a good agent and stuff like that. Minute and a half.
Are you still working for this company?
No. This is a contract I did. I do like I do contract work. I've been self-employed for a long time now.
Okay, cool.
Except for the cannabis thing, which is like a partner thing. That one I'm hands on, bro.
Yeah, but I'm happy that you found like the right team for that shit, because it's not easy, you know. I feel like it's like a hard business to get into, like the weed stuff.
Oh yeah, my god! Especially like, the Master Grower, we got so lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Master Grower was again like through Adult Connects. Someone in LA was shooting and said, "Oh, this person came back to Montreal because, you know, Montreal's got a lot of adult stuff." And so they're like, "Hey, the person I'm with is also a grower. This, that, the other." Sat down with them. We both had French bulldogs, same like background.
You have a Frenchie, huh?
Yeah. You know, it's like same background. He has like 4 now, you know, and like it just, you know, like I was saying, like I'm a Taoist philosophy, Wu Wei, bro. Like the river, the universe is a river. You ride it. You can try and navigate going forward, look ahead and stuff like that. But if you try and fight that current, bro, you're gonna drown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no chance. So like
it's like the current of
life.
Yeah,
it fit well. I like to, you know, we hit on, and the guys like just sick. Also, you know, like I said, it took 3 years during that that research time, because it was just, for me, it's new schooling. Again, you have to go like in the clutches of the dark web to find out about this stuff, you know. Like now it's more and more available, but like, you know, I started doing research, and I, you know, my scope started from here, what I've heard growing up versus, you know, because you learn all kinds of stupid shit when you're growing up. And parents alone, bro. I was thinking about this the other day, bro. My mom's from like Scotland, England, Wales, like she's British, and it's a big mix basically. My dad's from Milan, and my dad used to say the word pyromane, and I just thought that's the word, but it's pyromaniac. So I would be like, oh, the guy's a Piramine. And then people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they're like, isn't your mom English? I'm like, fuck, I feel so stupid. Because my dad said the word wrong. And that's the right thing. I have another friend. He's like, yeah, my father's Arab. He's Mont Blanc. He's like Monte Blanc. And he's like, I was 17 when I found out it's not Monte Blanc. I don't know how I got on that fucking tangent.
but it's actually funny. It's like, because there's like false information.
Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy back then.
So quickly. Like there's like some like rumors when I was a kid growing up that some stuff that I'm like, I can't believe we all like thought it was like true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Believe fucking anything. There was no internet. It's a bad fact check. That's why, bro.
Crazy, bro.
Yo, when we were kids, if you masturbate too much, you're gonna have white hairs and like fuck that shit. Like
when you when you masturbate too much, you might become
blind.
So fucking
deaf. What?
It was, you know who told me that? It was my my sex ed teacher.
What?
He told me, don't worry, kids. If you masturbate, you won't become deaf. That's
no
just
way.
a rumor.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So respect to
I
him.
thought this guy, he's like, I make 18 grand a year. Fuck these kids.
Yeah. Can't hear shit. You better learn sign language now, buddy, because your dick's hard.
What's the first thing what's the first thing you learned in sign language? I did this because masturbation is awesome, bro.
My girlfriend actually knows a bit of sign language, and
She does?
We had an Uber driver that was deaf, and she spoke to him a bit, whatever she remembered. And I was like, at that moment, I learned that she knew a bit of sign language.
Like from
And
the
I was
rear
like,
view?
what the fuck are you doing?
Was it in the rear view?
Yeah, like
No,
rear
she
view.
was like-
rear view, dude. Like,
No way.
Like, yo, gang, fucking West Side.
But it's
gang.
so close.
She was more like. She's like, okay, we don't pay.
Credit card's full. Credit card's full.
You're like so impressed.
I was like, are you a double agent? Like, what the fuck are you? Where the fuck am I?
There's two things I wanted to talk about actually. Do you do stand-up comedy?
Yeah, I do. Well, I'm like pro. I'm like an amateur comic.
Okay.
I've done a few like shows where I got paid, and before COVID, things were pretty dope. And then during COVID, obviously there was no stand-up happening, and I started doing more and more projects, and so it's what I like about stand-up comedy for me is like it's one of the things that I do that it's just for me, you know. Like I'm not hoping to end up on like I think I'm funny enough and I do a pretty good job when I'm on stage.
You're definitely entertaining, dude.
But like, thank you.
Definitely.
But I notice when I don't do it, I get like kind of pent up and frustrated because everything I'm working on has like direct result. You know, it's this production or whatever, or this
Dick pill.
or this
anus.
software or whatever it is. You know, all the stuff that I work in, and so like when you go on stand up, it's kind of just like this is for me. This is like kind of it's kind of like being in school again, because we always want to get out of school, but then you realize that's kind of some of the best time of your life.
For sure.
I'm doing a composition and like I'm waiting for the grade, but I want that reaction, and so comedy. Fucking G, bro. Like when you're on stage and you hit it and the laughter's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't imagine.
Well, you can, bro. You do.
I've had people like laugh, you know, sometimes.
No,
like
but
between songs,
I mean,
I say something funny and people laugh, you know. But I feel like people clap. Basically, like after a song, whatever, they fuck with it.
Yeah, when you're dancing to your
clap.
songs, though, that's
of course.
fucking G.
People like go crazy and
Like
stuff.
you have to think about this. People have had sex to your music.
Yeah,
Boom.
for sure.
That's the thing
Yeah.
right now. You know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
think that's also
there is children, intimidation,
Yeah.
and fecondation. All that shit happen during your vibes.
the
bro.
miracle of life, dude.
The miracle of
wild.
lives.
Miracle-
to your vibes.
Yeah, the miracle of vibes, dude.
And
But yo,
Miracle of
people got
vibes.
somebody got engaged at one of my shows. It was
Fuck, that's
fucking
amazing. You know what I'm
beautiful.
saying? Like that's cool
Yeah.
too. And so when I do stand up, some people say stand up is like super raw because you're just there with a mic.
But that's the thing. That's the
It's
difference.
so hard.
That's true. That's true.
It's
That's
more
like-
like it's more of a current. Like it's like more of like a like people really like you share actual a human experience
Yes,
with
true.
the people
For sure.
versus music where it's like, dude, there's so many instruments. There's all this like stuff. There's like engineering goes behind it.
Light show and
It's
other
music,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
So it's
for
like a
sure.
facade. Whereas like comedy, I feel is like the real thing.
Comedy
You're
is
actually sharing a moment.
Before the pandemic, I was rocking, I was killing. I feel like, and then after with all the projects and stuff, I wasn't going up on as much, and like it's so true practice because like I never used to really bomb, and like I've had a few not so great nights recently, and it's fun. It's cool. Like you realize it. Like you have to respect the craft. There's it's like going to the gym. You got to get your reps in.
Yeah.
That muscle has to be toned, and I'm sure it's the same. Like if you haven't toured in 6 months, that first fucking show is gonna be like nerve wracking.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like,
it's 100% the same thing, and it's like you have to like you said. I think it's a beautiful way to say it. It's like you have to respect the craft. You know,
like audition.
You can't just take it lightly.
Like you guys have to do rehearsal. I'm sure
we don't rehearse, but we play enough shows that we just like always kind of rehearse. We rehearse sometimes when it's like we have a big show. Let's say we're releasing like the albums, like the album release party, and we have like guests on stage. We usually rehearse when there's guests, when there's like all these like
when the stakes are high,
like variables, you know.
Yeah.
Because I could always count on my 4 boys to like, pull up and do the fucking show, you know. Like we'll do it, you know. Like I've done shows without a computer.
Oh yeah.
Like beatbox the whole way through. Like,
oh
so
wow.
I forgot my computer. So
like no looper and everything, and
nothing. Yeah, just like beatboxing, sweating my ass off. You know.
Wait, this is recently?
No,
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay, because I'm like right
But,
now.
you know, I could. Yo, I've done shows in front of people that didn't give a fuck in Italy, that like just looked at me funny, just like the most awkward shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what it feels like to finish a song and nobody claps. You know what I'm saying? and like people are just like, why are you here?
And then, you know what? And like I can't remember what the saying is, like, but nothing should be awesome all the time. You need like one thing is like nothing's permanent. That's a Dama text thing. Like nothing's permanent. So good or bad. So like even if you have like 15 great shows, there's gonna be one bad show. It's gonna happen. Like it has to happen because otherwise
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any it doesn't, and
statistically impossible.
And you have to like experience the bad to be like, oh man, I forgot how harsh it is to not have it be good. Yeah. And then the next time it's good, you're like, this is so cool. Whereas like 3 weeks before, you're like, whatever, another good show.
Yeah.
But then you do bad, and then you do good. You're like, oh, sick. Yeah, this is cool. Like, I want to stay here. I'm gonna do the work. You know,
you're gonna do the right thing. Exactly. I feel it's like kind of like a process of like choosing what's good and what's bad. You know, and kind of just like steering in the right direction, basically. But you don't know what direction to steer in if you don't know what the wrong direction is. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's like you need to fuck up, like to know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, hopefully, at some point, you're at a point in your career where you've made so many bad decisions that like the only decisions left are the right ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's wild. So do you plan to pursue stand up?
Yeah, I mean, like
you're gonna keep shooting your shot.
Pardon me?
You're gonna keep shooting your shot at comedy?
Yeah, like I have a secret dream one day, you know, which. I'm a family man. I already have a son and a wife and like a house and a mortgage, and like I have to build a shed next year. You know, like I have all this shit on my to-do list and what have you, and projects and different businesses. Like I have that Service SVP app that I did with Calvin. That that's another thing. Like there's a lot going on. So comedy, like if you really want to make it in comedy, you got to tour. Yeah. You got to do. When you're a smaller comic, when you're like not so big, you got to do like colleges and frats and. Which sounds great, but I've already worked in the fucking adult industry for like 13 years, more even.
Dude,
I've traveled, I've partied, like
you've seen it enough.
And like like honest to God, like I would go to a frat and they'd be like, "Yo, you're so fucking funny.
Yeah,
you got to come and do a kegger. You can't not do the kegger because they're not gonna follow you." They need to, what I'm saying?
Bro, you can't be doing keggers with a wife and a mortgage.
No, exactly. Yeah. And then I'm like, fucking, this Adderall's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Wife.
Yo, Adderall crushed that shit up 10 times. I tell you were right, bro.
Yeah. I'm going back to
Plus,
university.
I figured out cold fusion.
Oh yeah, side note. Figured out cold fusion.
But like what I would love, because I write scripts for adults and stuff like that, and I do stand up. I thought maybe at one point, because there's so much filming that happens in Montreal, like Hollywood filming and stuff, if I can write enough and get better at it and flex that muscle enough and keep doing that, and be funny enough on the comedy scene so that you're known about, it's not, the guy doesn't go out of town much, but like he's a funny dude here. Yeah, and if they're in this area filming and they need like 6-page rewrite. They're like, oh, there's this guy. If you want, call him up. Like he's the guy.
Yeah.
And he can help you with that 6-page rewrite, which I normally could. I will like if given the opportunity, I know I can crush that. Like
Right.
100%.
It's an interesting like approach.
Segue,
Because like Montreal is known for comedy, you know, comme Festival Juste pour Rire.
Yeah, and
you
there's that's another thing. It's such a small representation of Montreal comics in the Just for Laugh show. It's starting to get like a little bit bigger and bigger.
Right.
But
it's a huge international thing. Like,
it's massively international.
It's like the Olympics of fucking comedy.
but not
it's like, but we're not a part of it.
Yeah, and we're not part of it.
exactly. But
It hurts, bro.
There's a lot of international acts, you know, that come into
There's
town.
some big names that you can't
Bro,
like.
but not even
replace.
big
Everybody
names.
comes here.
Yeah.
Want some?
There's big names, there's small names too, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's like up and coming art
I saw-
comics, but that are just signed to the
Bro.
right management. You know what
Bro.
I'm saying? Like you can't
Yeah.
like you can't be an independent comic and be booked. But you know, Abba and Preach did it, but they're from Montreal, so.
Yeah.
You can't come from New York and
Like,
be an independent
I-
comic and joue at Just for Laughs. You need to be represented by the right people.
For
sure.
Yeah.
They did a great job too. I think I performed once with ABBA. He's a really, really, really good comic. I used to live near this comedy place. And I
ABBA
would
or
go all the
Preach?
time.
I thought it was Preach that did
Well, yeah,
that.
it's Preach.
No, ABBA does stand up, but he's fucking
Abba's
Really?
funny.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
it was
No,
just
both of them
Preach.
do it. Preach, I saw stand. The only time I ever saw Preach was opening for, which is a super dope gig. He was opening for Mike Ward at Noir.
What?
Like Saints
he
Yes
had
Saints.
this gig, bro, for a couple of months, bro. Like I think maybe more
Super
than
dope.
a year, man.
Super dope.
Opening
it was
for
really
Mike
funny,
Ward. You know
and,
Mike Ward.
Yeah, the guy that went
Sued.
into exactly.
let's
He got
see,
sued by
Jeremy and
Gabriel.
stuff like that,
Jeremy. Oh yeah, Jeremy.
But oh shit, I can't say that.
Oh, you had a juicy story for us.
Enhance in your fucking brain.
But yeah, I mean, like the comedy scene here. There's, if you ever want like this, I can do a shout out for the people that do shows here. Like the one guy who really puts together a lot of stuff. It's Sugar Sammy's brother, and it's mtlcomedyclub.com. And you can do you can see everything from like beginners to like pro-am to like Montreal's best comics and stuff.
Right.
And there's a scene. There's a solid scene here. Like if you want to watch comedy here, there's a solid scene. And what's really cool about the scene here, there's also Big Will comedy. He's another cool guy that I grew up with, and he's like, I was in Roxborough and he was in MMA and stuff, and they do cool shows too. What's really fun about the comedy in Quebec, Montreal specifically, is that mix of cultures.
Yeah.
And we're all
Anglais, français,
anglais,
bro,
français.
white,
Moi,
black.
je fais des affaires comme des Haitiens.
Yeah,
You know, like I
c'est
make
ça.
because I grew up with Haitian kids, and I'll like there's jokes there, but everybody has a good time. Arabic people, I can speak Arabic, like you know, like all the stuff that you can mix and mash and all this.
Do you think it's safe for a comic to do accents?
Yeah, that's my shit. Like I do accents all the time. Both of my parents had accents,
Yeah.
so I'm allowed. Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But have you ever gotten like pushback from people?
Never.
being like-
Really?
Really?
I do a bit. It's called
Because when you do the
it's called
Haitian
a-
accent,
Yeah, but I always do it in, like from a place of love, because like I grew up with Haitian people, so that's how I learned how to speak. French. It's not like I was making fun of Haitian people.
Yeah.
When like I would talk to people,
exactly.
they'd be like, "Yo, but they just scrub, G. Me ça dans vidange." You know, like I would just talk like that because the friends that I grew up with were talking like that, or they were Arabic. So it was always like busted up French, anyways. It wasn't like
I feel like the people that would have the most problem with that are actually white people. Whereas
Most likely.
whereas like Haitian people do not give a fuck. They're like, yo, you want to like transmit our culture? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a beautiful thing, bro. You're actually able to like be a tool for this culture to stay alive in a way, like as much as they are. You know what I mean? So there's not.
I always find like when I travel a lot. I lived in Europe for a while, and like I've been around. The best thing you can always do is try and learn a bit of somebody's language to show respect.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? How much does this cost? That kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So like I can say like, "Écoute, parler créole." Do you know what that means? That means
Do you speak Creole? Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like I can say, "So passé ma boule." Like I learned from my friends properly. So if I speak Arabic, like, "Shahwada, tamim, kisha tamim," you know, "Shurah tamil lele," like, and then now I can
right. The
and so I can do
Fire.
yo, dude, wait, 5-1-4-5-8-5-4-6-8. That's my phone number.
That's good.
Call me, baby. I will give you fresh air. Fresh air. We will go outside for some fresh air, baby.
Tea is fresh air.
It's true. That's how they would like persuade a girl.
You like my Air Jordan? It's one of one of my stand-up jokes that I do with that one. I do like Haitian French and stuff like that. And again, like you have to, and as long as you learn, like I can speak a bit of Russian, I can speak Spanish, Italian, Romanian, German, like ich habe ein bisschen Deutsch. Meine Liebling ist halb Deutsch, because my wife is half German.
That's Dutch.
Oh, that's then I can go on the stage and I can do any accent I want. I like chocolate because
the sky is the limit.
The sky is the limit. Not for the Oberreich though. We are going to space now.
Yeah, I thought like I don't know. I'm actually surprised. Like I thought you'd like would have received a little bit more pushback. I feel like people are just so anal about that shit these days.
It's so true. And as a big white dude, it seems to be the only thing I can really do without getting like massive pushback. If I work like a lot with like gay guys, and I even worked on like gay adult sets and stuff like that. And I know I lived in the gay village for like 12 years with my kid and my wife and stuff. But as soon as I step on stage and I like make a gay joke, they're just like, "Oh, big fucking white dude making a gay joke." And I'm like, "No, but they're all my friends and they laugh." And I tried this joke with them and they thought it was funny. And this is but if I was in a gay show, they'd be like, "Yes,"
Yeah, exactly.
But just one white woman, she's like, "That's not funny." And I'm like, "Oh, this is so lonely on stage right now."
And you don't want to be put in a position where you need to explain yourself either.
Bro,
like, no, I know these people.
Dude, I have this story, and I ran it like I did it like 6-7 times. And usually when you do a show, that's how you come up with a joke and you think about it. You're like, okay, this is the joke. You might write it down if you want it first. Some people write it out. Some people have different methods and stuff. I usually run with it and then, okay, let me change this, change that. And the joke is good. The story, it's my handle all the time is Yannick Dotes. Because c'est des anecdotes, stories of my life.
Oh. That's what I figured out a couple of days ago. I'm like, anecdote.
Yeah, it's stories of Yannick. My real name is Yannick Ferreri. Like, that's why I'm half WAP. And so, I lost that. I lost
what
my
did
story.
You say? Half what?
Half WAP, half Italian.
What?
WAP without papers. That's the thing called WAPs.
Good.
But shit, where were we going with that?
Yeah, you were saying that
the pushback when you do gay jokes.
From anecdote.
Yes, yeah. So the story is when I went to Spain and we were there to shoot for like a DVD, but at the same time it's the Gay Porn Awards, and I have a whole story about I'm a straight white guy, right? And I wrote the script and everything for this thing. And like I don't stick around for the sex, but like for all the dialogue and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this is how you should do, and this is what you should say here, and blah 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 blah.
And then you're like, I'm out.
And then I'm out. Well, again, like it's not even because of like, oh, this is whatever. It's like literally like I'm no help now.
Yeah.
I can't do it. If it's the girls, I'm like, yo, just move this stuff, do this, whatever. But like for the dudes, I'm like, looks great, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm out.
So, but like, and I have like this whole story of like I'm there and we're shooting for 5 days straight, and there's all these like super nice people that I meet, these stars, people that go around the world and shoot all around the world. They have friends and like, let me add you on my Instagram.
That must be a crazy.
And like Spanish people and this and that. And then we go to the porn awards and I'm sitting at one of like the main tables and having a fantastic time. And the whole story is about like, then I was like, okay, and like fucking car that we rented got towed because it's like the scam that they got with the police and they wouldn't give me my car back, and this whole story and the whole point is we're at the only straight club in this Torremolinos, which is like the super gay Spain. It makes our village look like a Trump rally, bro. It's like it's like just and I'm like there with like one of the guys that we represent. Like he's like one of the biggest gay stars right now in the industry, and he's fucking like 6'4", and he's super built. He's 21. He's an Adonis,
Yeah, dude,
and I walk next to him. I feel like fucking Danny DeVito, and like everybody in the city just like, oh my god, he's here. Oh my god. And so they're staring at him, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy, right? Like the whole story, and then we're at the one straight club, and then the guy's like, I can get some blow, and I'm like, well, okay, we're in Spain.
It's fucking dude.
All week with fucking
blows nothing.
No. And then the whole thing is that we go to like this, like the place that has the blow is this like cruise club, bro. You think fucking dudes are dirty? Like this is a hookup gay club. You leave the consent at the door, bro.
Yeah, you leave consent at the door.
I was like, I took a piss and some guy just never seen him in my life.
Shut the fuck up.
Never looked. You know, like you walk by and you look at somebody in the eyes, you're like, what's up? No, zero. Never seen everything. He walks in there and he just goes to try and kiss me. I'm like, what the fuck? Back off, get your own sandwich. Like, what the fuck? Like crazy. And then the whole story, it's just like great story, hilarious story. Yeah. And then the whole joke is like, oh, that's the best blow ever. We went back 3 times. By the end of the night, I'm like, hey girl, you know, like whatever. You know,
I've become gay.
Fucking, I do it, and everybody laughs, but they're laughing like they're like, is he allowed to say these jokes? Yeah. This is a funny story, and so that's the whole thing is like you got it, and accents for whatever fucking reason. That's the lane. It works all the time.
Yeah, it works.
Everybody wants to like I do this one bit where it's like you're around the world in 10 minutes or whatever, something like that. And I do like accents from, you know, Irish, calling myself Father McCarthy, you know, and then go down to like Italy, and I was like, you know, I was not talking like this, and then I was Arabic, and then no, my friend, I was in Israel, and I was working for a bed and breakfast, and we were doing shakshuka.
Have you been in Israel?
Never.
That's crazy. You got it right. It's a hard accent to
No, yeah. Certain things are very hard hours, like radiator. I was making shakshuka in the Airbnb for the breakfast. So it's just, and then I went to like India, and I was like, oh, I got a great job. And I was like, all I had to do was scam Canadians saying like, hey, this is John from
from Bell.
But I'm from Canada Revenue Agency, and you know, and everybody laughed because I did like all of them. So it's not like,
but it's also like a display of like skill, you know?
It's skill, yeah.
It's
you
like,
know,
like this guy nails accents, you know?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the YouTube channel where it's like a guy that has like he talks like an old grandma, and he
and he's scammers?
He like scams scammers.
So G, bro.
Dude, that guy's sick. He like basically pretends to be an old person. So he does like old granny, old grandpa.
Well, actually,
young dumb bitch, a young dumb dude, and he basically like talks to these scammers, and he stays on the phone with them for like 10 hours straight.
So he get back on because you have to call back and do another thing.
So he basically he gets this close to like dropping $500 in their account, basically, like, and just drops it in the wrong account, and then you get these reactions of scammers. It's like, no, madam, what are you doing? Like they literally like scammers getting scammed. It's
what he does is
I get it.
He hacks into their computers.
Yeah.
So now they have a patch program that's ran on my local computer, so they can see basically what I'm typing in or something like that, you know?
Yeah, share screen.
So share screen kind of thing. And so then they basically get you to, and they get access to your accounts and whatever.
Yeah.
So he pretends to be stupid and doing this thing. And
I don't know, where do I put the money?
He's like, well, I'm having trouble here. I can't see where I need to put the arrow.
And
he's like, certain lady, please put the click on top. And so then they're like getting all pissed and stuff like that. And like he's hacked into their computer. So now he has access to their fucking webcam.
Yeah.
So you see the guy and he's like, fucking mother bitch, you know? Like, he's getting so angry.
Yeah, he's so pissed.
And then he fucks, so they do this whole thing. And then the guy mixed with the other guy who did the Porch Pirate. You ever see that Porch Pirate guy? Mark Robb or something? He made a machine that like people steal it and they'll pick up the... when they open the package, it sprays fart.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Puts glitter and everything.
Yeah.
So he teamed up with that guy.
Oh no way!
And they like got this whole string of fucking scammers, and they figured out the pyramid like to the tippity top.
Yeah.
And they did FBI warrants and shit, like gangster shit, bro.
Yeah.
But the OG part was like a box you would steal, and it had 4 cell phones, so it would record you. So if you go on the internet now, you can see.
It's all over the internet.
For sure. That's actually fucking interesting. It's so hard to catch these scammers.
Dude.
And it's funny because like they probably caught like 1%. But like I know that doing that kind of scam, you could definitely get away from the law easily.
For sure.
What I'm saying? So when these people get like caught, there's like a certain
Well, it's
feeling of
jurisdiction.
satisfaction.
Like the guy's on the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
he'll
who the
get
fuck-
access to funds, and he'll go into their accounts, and he'll start fucking with them. So it is karmic in that sense.
Yeah.
It's really cool to watch, and I think
It's fucking hilarious,
channel's
yeah.
There's
popular.
one great scam that I've been receiving on my cell phone like it's for the past few months, and it's deposit your funds, because in Canada
Yeah, the
we have-
government funds. Yeah.
So in Canada we have like we could do like online interact e-transfers, what we call them. I know in the States you can't do that. You have to use like other apps for it. But so basically, like when you send money, you receive a text message telling you that you could deposit your money. So that basically what these people do is that they have you deposit your money, choose your bank, and then they have like this fake bank profile thing, like a web page that pulls up. It's not actually RBC.
Yeah.
So they have you write your fucking username. They have you write.
Oh, and you do just capture
Yeah,
all your
and you're
stuff.
fucked.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such a good scam. But honestly, like I don't know who told me this, but
That's why you have the
when you
double
re-
opt-in, because you have the text message that gets sent to you. And
exactly.
Blah blah blah. So
But
if
if
you don't
you-
have that, they'll
Exactly. I don't have that. But if you want to know if it's real, if it's not your first Interact deposit, you're gonna have a couple of text messages. So like if it's actually RBC telling you have like 3, 4, 5, depending on how many Interact deposits you've received. Whereas like these numbers, they pull up and it's only one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
true.
So you know it's fake, but it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, they're
Because
becoming
sometimes,
better.
especially as a travailleur autonome, a self-employed person, like I receive a lot of money like with these payment
Yeah.
ways, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's hard
Oh
to
yeah,
be
no,
like,
for sure.
you know, oh,
When
75
they
bucks,
first-
yeah, it feels right.
When they did the first one, I had the CRA thing. It was the guy had a slight accent. It was like more of like a Russian guy kind of thing. And they said like badge ID, and they had a good amount of information on me, like decent amount, enough to be mildly believable. So I was like, let me just see where this goes. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, I was like, okay. But like at first I was like, yo, there's no way. So while I'm on the phone with him, I'm emailing my account. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, is this shit real? Blah, 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 blah. And sending it a thing. And I'm like, staying on the phone. I'm like, I don't think it's real. But at the same time, I want to get a jump on this. Because what the fuck, you know? And then I realized by the end of it, they like want you to like pull out cash.
And send it.
And then they want me to put it in an ATM that has Bitcoin. So there are like random restaurants here and there. So like they wanted me to like basically like put five G's in. And I'm just like in my head I'm like, congratulations, because you must have to try a lot to get somebody stupid enough to do this.
Yo.
You have to go, bro. You know
it's easy,
the one I have
Is
to
this
go.
real? That's the best.
They're like go to the Amirs on St. Catherine's Day.
That beats like Western Union. Like as soon as you hear Western Union, like okay, this is a fucking scam.
Yeah,
but
like,
like, yo, bro, once you hear the Bitcoin ATM on St. Catherine's inside the Amir restaurant, now you know that you're dealing with some fucking fake shit.
I was like,
it's
yo.
so good. Sometimes it's hard to tell, bro. Like especially like sometimes like they'll pretend to be the government, you know.
No,
They'll be
that's
like, yo,
what
you
I'm
haven't
saying.
paid your taxes.
It was
They'll freak
CRA.
you out.
It was CRA. It was a tax thing, and I was like, I thought my taxes were paid, so that's why I was emailing my account. I'm like, you know, I heard, you know, like people getting fucked by their accountants and shit like that, like in Rocky 4 or whatever it was. So I'm like Rocky right now, bro. Because I'm also travailleur autonome. Like I have my
Right, exactly.
business
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff and whatever. So like,
I just feel like these scams are getting so advanced that like by the time I'm 80 years old, if I ever get there, like I'll just get scammed.
You'll
every
bite,
single day.
bro.
Bro, I'll go buy milk at the fucking
you bite,
at
bro.
the dep next door, and I'll come back and it's gonna be fake. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna come back. He's like
Like a
these.
bike, yeah.
No, these are magic beans. These ones.
The guy told me.
The guy he knew a lot of shit,
He
bro.
knew a lot about me. He had
He's
my
like
phone number.
kind of the stuff you can get on Google, but oh fuck.
But anyways, I need to make a phone call. You know, like when you realize you got scammed, you know, that's the worst time. Like
For sure.
you're like, fuck, I just sent this person so much money.
I wanted to know how you got into the adult industry.
Yeah, you want? Can I rock a piss right before
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
that?
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
do a
for sure.
pee break. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we do a people
That's
break.
good.
We'll be
Yeah,
right
that's
back
good.
after these
How long have
messages.
you been going?
120.
15 that are like super young, and I'm like, fuck, man, you know, maybe not, but like that universe concept again. It's like I got ready at my age to do it. That's my thing, you know.
Yeah.
And the same with anything, like with writing or with
I was
being
gonna
an
ask.
author or whatever. Like it's you can. There's no peak age. In fact, if you still have that fire to want to like learn more, and you don't feel comfortable and you want to take the next leap, you should be happy because it means you're still like alive. You haven't droned out. You know, you haven't fucking.
Yeah.
You know?
How often do you write?
Dude, he's writing right now, dude.
for comedy or for scripts.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff?
The
I'm
act
not.
of writing.
I'm not a
yeah.
very like for scripts. I do it well, like under pressure almost. Like I'll do them like 10 days before shoots, but I'll conceptualize firsthand and then I'll write a script.
And yeah, for the people that don't know, so you write scripts for porn,
for adult content.
for adult a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did that begin?
Yeah. So that was like 2008.
That's a long ass time ago, man.
That's cool. I'm almost 40, bro. I'm like 38 now. So like it's been a while, and
You age well though.
It was thank you.
You haven't changed. I feel like since I've like met you, you
I know.
haven't changed.
You either, bro. I have this video of like Justin's 21st birthday.
Oh shit.
That's crazy. It's like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just jokes. Like you look the exact same. Like your hair's changed about that.
Yeah. Just a couple more beers in my body.
But 2008, I did a computer science degree, and then I was like gonna do software engineering, and then I did a stage, and I was like, "Fuck that shit."
Really? So
Yeah.
you finished your studies and you were like, "Okay, I'm actually."
No. I did a deck, so it was like 3 years college, and I was
Yeah.
like playing football, and it was a lot, you know, and so. I did this stage, and I was like, "This is not for me." Like I had no decision on direction. I know I was green and stuff, but it was like really like, no, do it this way. And
Yeah.
you're like, yo, this person who's telling you to do this thing is older and doesn't realize that there's a newer, better way, and you have to do it the way they say. I'm like, no, I can't do that for the rest of my life. There's no way. So I went to university and economics because it was like the other side. Like I had done all these pure and applied classes to do software engineering. I finished my computer science degree, and so I did economics,
Which is completely different.
Well, yeah, but I wanted both ends of the spectrum because I'm like, this will give me a mix that most probably don't have. And I did like a minor in international development studies or something like that. Like I don't know.
Interesting.
And it's 2008. I graduate. I'm working for the city as a plumber, so I'm already have a good job, and that's how I basically went
For City of Montreal?
Yeah, for the city of Montreal.
Was there a specific borough? Or?
Yeah, in Pierrefonds, like where I grew up in Roxborough, Pierrefonds. I was working
Which
for that
literally
city.
translates to rock bottom.
Yeah, rock bottom. And I grew up when I was like in high school. I started working on the hockey rinks. So like you know how we have outdoor rinks, they used to have us shovel, like scrape the ice off, and then water it with a hose. And so I used to like work from like 9 to 1 in the morning, you know. And then I started doing that job when I was in high school. So I always had money and working, and I worked for the city. And eventually they're like, you guys can't pay students this fee. You have to pay them
lower
a full-time fee.
Okay.
Because the union. So I started making like 40K at like 21.
But just to clarify, the putting water on the ice rink, was that considered plumbing?
No. That was like the first days when I was like in high school and it's that.
Oh, okay.
And then but then the city's like, you can't have the students do this and that, and they wanted to protect their jobs and unions and blah blah.
So you got more money out of it.
So I got more money out of it, and we ended up working in the summers. We were working for like Parks and Rec, so you do like soccer nets and flower beds and de-weeding, cutting grass, and you know taking care of parks and shit. And then as time went on, there was the city mergers, Montreal, because we worked for like a small city, Roxborough, like tiny, and then it was like I don't know 6,000 people or something, and then we merged with Dollar, and then it was back with Pierrefonds, and then whatever.
I can't wait to know how he got into the adult porn business. I can't wait for like
we're in high school in a park right now.
Exactly. So when did you start filming pornography?
No. So anyway,
so I was cutting the grass.
So the point is, I have a good job at this point now. I'm working for the city full time while I'm in university, and I'm a I'm learning from the master plumber. There was the master plumber and me. So I'm getting like another free education in plumbing from this dude and making a good salary, and I'm unionized and shit. And I was getting my degree. And then it's 2008. There's no jobs. It's a recession. So it's just fucking nothing, bro. Zero. Like nothing. Nobody's hiring. Everybody's firing. Everybody's cutting
But you
jobs.
had a job.
And I had a job. So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
is this a sign from the gods to just work for the city, which is, good money and you get safe and they match your RSPs. And
But then you're like, no.
so I was like, I did this education. I got to try something. So we're out one night and somebody had a job at this place called Mansef.
What?
Mansef.
Is that Manwin or no?
No, it was before Manwin.
Same company or
Yeah,
no?
same company. It was called Mansef.
They changed names a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they did.
And so we're like playing pool. And I was like, yeah, did you know Brazzers and Pornhub is here in Montreal and all this? And I'm like, fuck off, for real? And the guy...
They carry, my guy.
And he's like, you don't... It was before DeCarry, actually. It was in Acadie. And he's like, you'd be perfect for this job because you did the computer stuff and the internet.
The plumbing.
And you love porn.
Ice hockey.
And you love porn and you're a fucking pig.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah, and so you should try out because he went for a job and then like it wasn't really what he was looking for, whatever. And so you should try it out. So I go there and I immediately walk in and I'm seeing like,
And everybody's like, whoa, big dick energy. Whoa.
So I go in and I remember I think at first I was applying for the job. I just sent my CV, and Fridays on the city was like, it's a waste of a day. It's a half day and you go to breakfast, and I got so fucked up. I was like, yeah, you fucking do it. We've been fucking working the porn place. And I send my fucking CV like shit face and I'm the man for your shit and fucking boom. And then I go to fucking work the next morning and I'm at breakfast because we had breakfast on Fridays.
So dull.
And I get a thing that says Mansef Productions. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, hello? And they're like, can you come into, interview today at 12? I'm like, what the fuck? So I go home and shit, shower, shave, drive like Andretti and get there. And
I'm your man for your shit. I'm the man for your shit.
And the guy asked me, the first thing he says,
Are you
this is
the
the
man
guy
for
who
your
ends up being CEO at one point and everything. And he's like, what kind of porn do you like? And I'm like,
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, depends on the day.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like this answer.
Yeah. It was Arabic.
two Arab dudes from Cambodia that started.
I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say he's like, I like this answer.
Yeah,
So,
but you
and
rolled
then-
the R. You rolled the R. I like this answer.
Yeah. And so then after, cool. And so I call a week later. I'm like, hey, did I get there? Like, oh, well, like you have like literally no experience. You have your.
You
degree.
called them back.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, you didn't
You dirty
have
boy.
an online thing. You're a plumber right now, and but we really, really, really like you, but we want to find something else. So then they're like, there's another job. You're gonna be in charge of this department, not in charge, but like you're gonna be working with this department. It was me, a programmer guy who was like very business savvy, and one other programmer. It was just us three. They're like, it's the mobile division, and this is before mobile porn
2008.
was a thing, bro.
Right.
It was nothing. So I'm like, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll come in and average and interview. And that was the last time I've ever interviewed in my life. I always got from that point. I always got poached and everything. And so they're like, yeah, blah blah blah, mobile porn. You know what an iPhone is? I'm like, yeah. I have a friend who has one. I had like a fucking
Flip phone still.
no, I had some smartphone, but it was not very smart. It was a fucking dipshit phone. And they're like, we don't know what it is. Like, it might not be a big thing, but
It might not be a big thing.
like, do you want the
Dude,
job?
people masturbating mobily is
You
a
know,
huge thing.
So they're like, do you want the job? You'll be a project manager for this mobile department and you'll have resources to work with and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. So I went to my boss and I'm like, yo, dude, I'm taking a sabbatical. Like I have a degree and stuff. I need to try, and the guy's like, fuck. Because the plumber just quits. He's like, you're my only plumber for
Oh,
the city.
shit.
And I'm like, yeah, they want me to start in a week and a half. So like you have a week and a half to find another plumber. So I take the job, took a pay cut.
So you didn't tell them that you had another job.
No, I
you,
did.
you,
I
you
told
said
him,
sabbatical.
no, I said, yeah, but you take it because you're allowed a sabbatical when you're an employee for a permanent employee. Oh, no, wait, was that? Whatever. You're allowed a sabbatical if you can go and I think find yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can come back
And
to
then
work.
come back.
If you don't come back within the year, you lose your seniority. Or
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
yeah.
So it's that kind of thing, whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to try this out. And so I go And lo and behold, mobile porn is a huge thing.
For sure.
So what was cool was everybody in the industry knew this company now. I was probably the one around the 100th hire for the company. So it was very early days. They were just moving.
This is Brazzers?
Yeah, Brazzers and Pornhub had just done a thing together, and they're just moving to DeCarry now, and and
Things are popping off.
Things are popping off, but I'm like it's still small.
Dude, a couple of fucking nerd programmers. Like,
it's a fucking tech business.
We need to optimize the hard-ons.
I asked my parents. I'm like, what do you guys think? They're like, how do you think you got here? Like, it's sex. Sex sells. You'll never be out of business. It's good fucking business. It's 2008.
It's for sure recession-proof.
Nothing recession-proof and this and that. And bro, like, people would talk to me. They're like, yeah, I'm working at this company, and I'm like, how much traffic do you get a day? They're like, oh, we get like 700 users a day. I'm like, dude. I make a change on a site and 32 fucking million people see it within X amount of time.
Yeah.
Like you're dealing with
crazy numbers,
monumentally crazy numbers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it was very much tech. My hiring, my entrance into the porn industry was tech. It was all tech driven.
We had
grants.
a friend.
We got grants
from the government?
Yeah. Because we developed things. We did RTSP, real-time streaming protocol for like Blackberries. Wasn't a real like popular thing.
What is that?
It was just to be able to to stream videos on Blackberries. It wasn't properly coded or encoded or whatever the fuck. And then also like pop under ads. We got a grant for that. We got a grant for
what ads? The pop?
Like when you look at a URL and the other URL pops up.
Yeah.
That
was like new tech.
That's you guys?
Yeah.
So every time I try to stream like a hockey,
and like one of the crazy things. Oh, hey, buddy. One of the crazy things is the
So the government gave you guys grant money because you've developed browsing tech.
Yeah, because we were dealing
crazy.
with millions and millions and millions of users. So I won't get into like too much of the details or whatever, but like from that point, the team that we were three, we ended up having like apps and a gaming thing. So by the end, we were like 75 people.
What do you mean apps? What?
Like apps in the app store.
Oh, apps. Okay, yeah.
And using the traffic and whatever smart ways and blah, blah, blah. And 75 employees. So I'm at the helm of 75 employees. I think I wasn't even 30. And the thing is, it was a very like young company. So there's kind of a glass ceiling. Everybody that's above me at this point is super young, not going anywhere anytime soon. So like, then I kind of got other offers to go here, there, the other. So when I left there, I kind of laid low for a little bit, and then I went to Romania for like 5 years.
And you worked for a adult industry in Romania as well?
Yeah. In Romania, we like.
What's the name of that?
Let's Do It and
Porn
Dough. Yeah, Porn Dough.
Porn Dough.
DOE and .com. That was a tube. And then
like the female of a.
Yeah, no, but like it's just DOE or like John Doe.
Okay, yeah. Porn Dough.
And it was anonymous, but that was a completely like legal tube site, and then we did production. So for a while, there was like 16 production teams all over Europe and like South America, and even some in Canada, all working at the same. And I had to like manage all that, so we created software to manage licensing and making sure everything was legal and documents and verifications.
What kind of licensing do you guys deal with?
Like broadcast licensing, DVD licensing, IPTV licensing. So because mobile was so popular and nobody knew what to do with their traffic, I went to my first trade show, and I'm like, what do I do? They're like, you have your credit card. I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, like just buy people drinks and,
fucking mingle.
And like, if they want to do your mobile traffic with you, I had a way of basically the first thing I did is like, let's give them a way to monetize their mobile traffic. But it was sending like all your mobile traffic to like a site that looked like your site, but it was just selling browsers right away.
So repeat that.
Yeah,
it's like basically you're mingling with somebody who
owns a website. Yeah.
But it's not a porn website.
It's a porn website.
Okay, so you're mingling with basically
like MILFs.com, like old school back in the day sites, and they didn't know anything about mobile, right?
Yeah,
and they don't have the developing power. These people all got in the game early, like early gamers. They were like,
so you pull up and you're like,
I'm like, hey bro, what are you doing in your mobile traffic? He's like, what? Like that 50,000 people a day that go to your site that you don't know what to do with them. They're looking at your full website on their their phone, and it doesn't look good. I have a solution for you, And we figured out a way to like make an alias website name so it could be like m.yourdomain.com. It would show powered by Brazzers.
Looked good.
Looked
better than
a bunch of trailers and then like a join now. And so
but it was actually your website.
Yeah, it was our website. So I was like, hey, what are you making with your thing? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, I'll give you, I don't know, whatever it was, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000.
They would pay you.
No, we'd pay them for the traffic, and then we'd make like 50 to 100K in subscriptions in that month.
Yeah, but they would actually pay you.
But imagine now you have this new guy, and so they're like, you go out there, and you buy them shots, and you talk to them, and I'm like, I have a fucking black belt in partying. Like this is
perfect.
Are you serious? They're like, yeah, just go out there, bro. I became everybody's best friend because I would go up to you and be like, I can give you $5,000 a month. And you don't know what you're doing with that traffic right now. They're like, come here, my friend.
Yeah.
So I was hooking everybody up with
it's a win-win-win-win.
It's a super win-win for everybody.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that you're talking to like a person with like I guess it's all porn websites. So powered by Brazzers just makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Powered by Brazzers.
It's not as if you had like a fucking.
And then anybody who had nobody will like get. I'm not known for this, like in like the annals of pornography, but like. I generated a lot of what you see on your phone had a lot to do with the team that I was working with. We had a genius team, and like I started saying, well, put a premium tab on if you have a mobile site. I have a mobile site already. I don't need it. Well, put a premium tab. Send it to the mobile site. I'll make it look exactly like your site, but it'll be your premium version, powered by Brazzers.
And premium,
all the premium tabs.
Okay, so like a higher end product of their own product.
But it's powered by Brazzers. And then again, so we had all this stuff. So I became super well known all over the internet, and then I
it's kind of genius. But isn't there like a lot of like a licensing or like a right like
DMCA protocol stuff? Like
let's say you put your name on somebody else's content.
But it was all our content that we were selling. It was just the traffic from that person's website no longer served their original purpose, which was XYZ.
They went on your website,
just showing our version of a website, and then they were making sales off of it. So it was short-term thinking at first. But that was how I basically got to know everybody, because I would just people are working sales all day trying to get like a banner spot on the desktop side. I'm like, hey, you don't do anything with this. You want money?
Yeah.
Yes. So I became
meta.
Then I go to fucking Vegas and Phoenix and all these other trade shows, Amsterdam, and they're like, go party with these people. So
and you say trade shows, like basically like it's industry people that
industry trade show.
Yeah,
and I would go to the trade show, and again, like I'm like this. I got a black belt in partying, so I would party with all these people
that wanted to make money.
And smoking weed. I could drink a lot and I can smoke a lot because my tolerance is pretty high, and make deals and high fives with people, and it was just it was super easy. It was like it was made to be. And then and from there I met all kinds of different people from all around the world, super smart people, and that's where people were like, oh, come out to Europe and live out there for a bit. And I have a British passport, so went out there for like 5 years, came back here, but now I'm more in the weed game, and I still work in like adult here and there, and I consult here and there. But I also have the other app, which is
And right now you do. You told me this before the podcast. OnlyFans manage you manage.
So
OnlyFans accounts?
So there's some accounts. Basically, the whole thing with like that Instagram model, OnlyFans person, like they need production companies. So we help them produce content and edit content, and that. And then we also have management services, which is like. People, when they get to a certain size, people have to understand it's too big to like manage by yourself. So you can't focus on content. And that's our slogan is like make more, do less, focus on content, we do the rest. So you shoot your content, You're
an artist.
And you just give it.
And you put it in a Dropbox folder, and then we'll take care of all the editing, we'll take care of all of the posts and stuff like that. And then we always run everything by them. So we make sure.
How does this look?
Is this the way you want to send out the message to your fans? And then a lot of the fans, which the ones we like working with, they continue to do the DMs themselves because that's how they really want to connect with people, is like DMing and stuff. So they want to continue doing DMs. So we're like, okay, cool, no problem. You continue to do DMs, but we'll do everything else. We'll tweet when the new scenes are coming out. It's because again,
it's a whole thing. It's the rollout is
it's like saying that a producer didn't make a movie because he has 5 PAs. Like of course, he made the movie, and the 5 PAs went and did all that. So we're PAs, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're taking care of your stuff. You're doing your content. You're doing your whole thing, and we kind of.
Now, do you work for a management company or you own the management company?
No, I work for a management company. I
Right.
do consulting. Like
How many people work for this company?
There's like 40, 50 accounts, and they have about 8 people managing those companies, those accounts. And so I help them with like reporting techniques and how to speak with the clients. And,
Reporting techniques?
yeah, like like when you're doing a service like this, right? Like you don't want to just say, "Oh, here's like I'm posting for you and I'm
Providing entertainment.
providing this like editing service, this and that."
Oh, okay.
What I want from out of that service now is like I want you to say, okay, on a Monday morning, I send you an email, person whose account is, and this is how many fans you've increased by. This is what we think the relation, the relativity to that. You have to offer a service.
Yeah.
You can't
Right.
just do the
Diagnostic
bare minimum.
report. You know what
Not
I mean?
necessarily,
Yeah.
you have to give them a dashboard, right?
Enhanced.
Because
Right,
all
right,
these
right.
sites don't have open
Yeah.
APIs, so you can't write software to make your own dashboards. So you have to actually do that manually. So
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
each one of these account managers. So I teach them that kind of that procedure, that operational,
Right.
that operational consulting is what I
Mm-hmm.
love doing. It's how do you offer the same service, but like with the same amount of, because the work of like getting the information on the fans and the money that they're making and all that, you're doing it anyways to report
To
me.
yourself. Or, yeah.
So you might as well, slap a bow on it and report it to the person. So you understand, like you have to, and it's more than just that. So that's what I usually assist with is a lot of that.
Okay,
kind of thing,
I see.
And as a programmer, I feel like you have like a backbone and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Like,
But you don't program anymore.
No, I know. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
programmed in ages. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
But and I think that's where I got a lot of my success too. Not in consulting was always being able to kind of be the bridge
Yeah.
between this is what they're talking about, this is what they want. And if this person says it's gonna take 4 weeks, I can kind of I'm not like to the hour or whatever, but I can be like, yeah, that does make sense. And that
Yeah,
makes
you know
sense.
the lingo. You know the
Exactly.
Yeah, it's important to know the back end, like all that stuff. Like if you want to be successful in a business, I feel it's important. It's kind of like being a movie director.
Yeah, you gotta
like you
know
need to
all
know a
of it.
little bit of everything. You know.
Exactly. And it's not like the same thing with this marijuana project. Like we can get a plumber to come and do all the stuff. It'll cost more money and everything. But like you wanna be a part of the bones. You wanna know where the water comes from, how you're 1,000% sure that's not gonna be water with this much ppm in it versus another ppm because it's
Right.
going to room A or room B or whatever. Same with the wiring, like these lights are powered by this breaker and this is this and this and this and like you want to know, you got to get your hands dirty. If you're going to own a business, say if you want to own a restaurant,
Even a house.
all of it, you got to like that pursuit of knowledge is super important. Like if you,
So there's talking about your OnlyFans account management. What's the official title of the company? It's account manager, I guess, or
fan management, yeah.
fan management. You managed somebody who is pretty famous in Quebec.
We work with a lot of Quebec people basically.
There's the girl who
No.
she's like famous in Quebec.
No.
So do you ever like talk to these people?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you that
They must be the nicest people in the world.
I'll tell you this. There's a lot of people that I work with in Quebec, and there's some people that are like super hustlers. Some people aren't as hustler, and it's like any job. Like you have to give yourself 100% to like new concepts and working back, like feedback with your fans and stuff like that. And then there's people who just like are lucky and they get off with certain things, and but it's crazy. I'll tell you this much about fan management. I haven't worked in the
You must
adult
deal
thing.
with the weirdest people sometimes.
Oh
too,
my god!
though.
And
Oh
like
my
I
God.
see the weirdest messages. Oh my, the messages, bro! Like there's something we call custom content. So like, one of the services we'll do is we'll kind of like engage with clients to see if they want custom content from the models.
Special order.
Special order. Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to do this? Do you want, and if it's this and that and the other. So like, you think like it's like, oh yeah, I want you like jerk off and or masturbate and say my name, But then there's like people that ask for like dick ratings and stuff, and they're like
Rate my dick.
Yeah, and then they're, but like that's also known, like, oh, rate my dick, and then like, oh, it's a great dick, it's awesome dick, blah 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 blah. Okay, but then there's like some really weird stuff. They'll be like, all right, so we're in a relationship, we're not doing well, all right, and the fact is that I can't satisfy you, and so I want you to rate my dick based on the fact that like the neighbor's been doing, and it's so bro, it goes down this rabbit hole, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, so here's
$400 for this. This is a lot of work. This is very precise.
okay, so here's the deal. Me and you in a relationship.
Like,
relationship not going
deep.
so well.
Yeah, it's super
So
detailed.
rate my dick.
Super detailed. Like,
so bizarre, dude.
That's
but
not weird.
all that to say, what's really cool about the fan stuff is that studios, they shoot and they take all the risk, but they shoot content and then they own the content, so they can do licensing after, they can do DVD licensing, they can do broadcasting, IPTV, and then they can also sell it on the websites. Whereas the model usually doesn't really get any royalties on that content because they're paid for the scene. They're paid handsomely, but they're paid for that scene at that time, and that's kind of it. And so you had social media following, you had like a big Twitter and a bunch of people following you, or an Instagram, this and that. But like it was tough to monetize it. Okay, now I'm asked to this podcast or that podcast. They'll pay me $1,000 here. Strip club appearances, all that, whatever. Then these fan sites came along.
Like OnlyFans.
Excuse me. Yeah, OnlyFans, For My Fans, Loyal Fans,
even
Just for
Patreon,
Fans,
no?
Patreon, Cameo.
Porn stars for sure have
all this
Patreon.
stuff. But now what's cool is that you can leverage, like we have some models out of LA that we manage. They don't do fucking anything compared to some of the like Quebec girls here that hustle. Do zero. Like very, very little work. They take a few pictures and the people are so crazy about them. They make their accounts make shitloads of money. They barely have to do anything. They take a few pictures of their feet and they it's crazy. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But at the same time, what I am happy about is that the models who have usually in the past kind of just shot, and then unless you keep shooting and unless you're very smart with your money and you do your appearances and you hustle, it usually was kind of short-lived, the amount of money you make, and you kind of fade it out. But now you have people that are like in their 50s and they still have an OnlyFans and they're still rocking like 10, 15, 20K US a month because all of their fans love them and they'll chat with them. Right. They'll send them voice messages. You know,
it's like super engaging, honestly.
Yeah. And there's like so back into the fan management thing.
It gets dangerous, bro. Imagine you're a hungry little boy, fiending for sex, and then you're able to receive so much like engaging content with like these porn stars or whatever. Porn star, they could like talk to you and stuff.
The Supreme Gelato's nice.
It's nice, smooth. Love it. But yeah, I feel like if I was watching porn and I was like, when I was a kid, I was watching porn. It was straightforward, Yeah. It was like you'd go on a website and like even like bro, I download porn on LimeWire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like there was no streaming service.
Even before that, my day was like you just try and wait till you see the titty before you bust it. Like,
exactly.
The picture was fucking.
But now you could literally like
no, stop. It's a neck.
An ankle. Oh my goodness.
And so no, but it's cool because they get to monetize their fan base, and we've tried to manage certain accounts, and because how we operate usually is like percentage based, and then once you hit certain brackets, the percentage will drop, but like it's based on like, okay, if we're gonna be doing this work and getting that money for you, we'll try and pay ourselves off immediately.
So you take a percentage off of their income.
Their income.
And that income does not include, for example, like sponsorships.
No, that's just literally from the account that it's generating. That's it.
And the money comes from what? Like streams?
Subscriptions. So that's the cool thing. They have their own
subscriptions,
They have their own subscription sites now. So like, everybody who like joins browsers or whatever other sites, that's cool. But now they have their own subscription as long as they keep up and they do that. And then they have PPVs, so like you can get extra money doing custom content. Or
so let's say like I watch a video of a porn video on Pornhub. Let's say, does the person in the video make money off me streaming that content, or does Pornhub just buy the content?
That's where there's a huge like debate on the whole like tubes requiring like the rightful owners to upload and this and that, the other. But Pornhub has a premium site and they get revenue share.
So yeah,
and then usually what you see on tube sites like Pornhub is the trailer version or like the tube version of a scene. So like a scene might be like 25 minutes, you might get like 12.
Yeah.
12, 15. Probably more than enough.
So
let's be honest, but
For most guys, yeah.
For most guys, but like, you know, if you're like an aficionado and you really like it, you join the site, that's cool. You get the whole HD, 4K, blah, blah, blah. It's like anything, you know, there's premium stuff.
Well, I pay for YouTube
stuff.
Premium, for example. So I have.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have no ads.
Me too.
And one of the best features is that I could
can share it.
have it minimized on my phone and it
you
still plays.
Yeah.
Or I could turn my
Super
phone
key.
off and it still plays.
Oh, that's
versus
sick.
like the not premium. You turn
Have you
and-
guys heard of Coast Contra? Oh, it's
What is that?
disgusting. You're not even ready for this. It's the sickest they're a quad, they're 4 guys. They do a lot of freestyles and stuff. So then they do have iTunes songs now and stuff, but like their freestyles are where it's at. It's all on YouTube. It's like before I had YouTube Premium, I had to keep the phone open.
Yeah.
And then the fucking thing would cut. Now it just streams constant. I'm
Yeah.
like, well played, YouTube. You know, it's a smart thing.
It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like 10
just
bucks a month.
functionality.
Yeah, it's super key.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like in music you have like rights management companies. For example, like I make a song and I trust this company to basically get my money for me, you know. But I feel like there must be the equivalent for.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's DMCA forces and all that
Okay.
kind of thing that they do the same thing. You have like fingerprints of your videos and they go and find it on sites. It's just, you know, it's an endless battle. And then here's the other part of it though. It's like I remember being in many discussions with a bunch of different site owners and everything talking about piracy and all this stuff. There's a coefficient of like free publicity that comes with the pirated site.
Yeah.
And then there's also an argument that like a lot of the people who are on the tube sites are not the people that are going to buy your membership. So like I only knew about Brassers when I went for that original interview because of a tube site, not because I was a member.
Yeah.
So
I feel if the publicity argument is a good one for browsers, but for the person creating content for browsers whose content is actually being pirated, who doesn't really gain anything, but like who gains is browsers. Whereas like the creator that you don't even know her name.
Oh yeah, but that's
you know what I'm saying?
but they pay their production teams. Like we produce for different sites.
Yeah.
And we're not known at the end. It's a browser scene. They own it. They pay to produce it. No, I'm not saying I shoot for browsers, but I'm saying like I've shot for plenty of people. And once you shoot for someone, the ownership of that scene is no longer in your hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you're running your own website or your own
Yeah.
channel or your own whatever. But like now you can do it with
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
say this is my content.
Yeah.
So there are people on OnlyFans that like there's really clever things. Like there's these 2 guys. They're like college bro dudes, you know, like barstool sport kind of guy.
Yeah.
And they have fucking solid hammers and they just smash a girl every time. Like that's their thing. They're like and
Solid hammers.
Like solid hammers. You know what I'm saying? Like and like that's their thing. And like they offer a good quality product where like the girl's super pleased and they're always it's like very consensual and it's great. It's good stuff. And like they charge $10 a month or whatever it is, and then you get to that's what if you like that content. It's specific to that, you know?
I feel like there's like this podcast. What's the name of the podcast? The guy who like smashes his guests and
Adam 22 or something.
what's the name of the podcast? It's
Adam Carolla.
it's
Jumper.
No Jumper. Anyways, like a podcast. They interview porn stars, and at the end of the podcast, they smash.
And yeah,
They actually fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
Shit,
there's
sorry.
also like rappers, like artists who just side stream of income, just like do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know, I feel there's much more of that these days as well.
This is crazy money.
There's
dude.
like people just like kind of
people
like
make stupid money, bro.
It's
wild.
I'm not at liberty to say who and when. And
Yeah.
what and all
But
that
I could
stuff.
imagine, bro.
But bro, you're talking about like some people make
Yeah.
hundreds of G's. Some people make 20 G's, 30 G's,
that's
40 G's.
so
You know what's also
good.
funny?
50
Is
G's. Any of these numbers is crazy per month.
Yeah.
US.
you,
Yeah.
you know
20K US is like 700,000 Canadian. Like, let's
Did
be
you ever
honest.
have a
Like,
girl, did you ever have a girl like start tripping and be like, yo, take down my content? I don't want to do this.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like she trips.
Which is why early on in the game when I was working in the place in Europe, we developed like this beautiful system where like everything that is, we even had like something called the sex act checklist, which is like, these are the things I'm agreeing to, these are the things I'm not agreeing to before the scene starts, so that there's everything's
set in stone.
set in stone, documented.
safe word and everything like that. And then like some point somebody said, oh, this happened and I feel like it's da-da-da. So they would, send an email to usually the person who produced the scene that we had
Hired.
and then we'd get it back. We'd say, okay, well, here are the documents, and we're totally cool taking down the scenes, like everything's okay.
Really?
If somebody's like,
You pay for the scene though, like
and it's already been up,
it's-
and it's been up for a while. Let's be honest, like somebody's fucking tripping and losing their shit, and like it's not worth it. Like they really don't. Most of that's why I have people that I get referred that want to do OnlyFans. So like people that we manage their accounts, they also like, oh, I want to get into it. You should talk to this guy. It's like my first and second conversation is like mad discouraging.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
On what end? You discourage or
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you don't want this life. You don't want nothing to do with this.
No, it's just like, look, you talk to somebody who makes 15K a year, a month, and now you're like, oh, I could do that. Sounds awesome, great, this, that, the other. But like, you meet them in person, you can see they're like a timid person.
Yeah, you're like, you don't want nothing to do.
And you have to, if you really want to be in my opinion anyways, for it's, everybody's allowed to think what they want to think. But if you want to work in the adult industry, you have to be a outgoing,
sexual being.
Sexual
bro.
being
There's
that willing,
certain girls that are sexual beings. and you
guys
meet-
too though. The guys have to like, and I know guys that
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys that do gay for pay and this and that. Like there's a lot of, you have to be, it's the world you want to be in. It's not something that you do because of the money. This is the stupidest thing to do. Then don't get into it for that. Like it's out there forever.
Yeah, because you're gonna be self-conscious after it's been published,
I
and
think-
there's days where you feel like shit or you don't feel sexy.
Exactly. Like,
you're gonna start
you know?
tripping,
Yeah.
bro.
I know some stars, big name.
Bring the
big
mic
names.
closer,
Sorry.
like lower.
Oh, like
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I think it's
Like big names that never watched one of their own scenes.
I could understand.
yeah.
that 100%.
It's kind of weird watching yourself.
Yeah,
fall.
I don't. Everybody says that they're like, you should record your stand up and watch it. I'm like, no, I don't want to see myself. It's disgusting.
It must be bizarre, bro.
I don't even.
can't-
I'm never gonna watch this podcast, bro. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
Yeah.
that's what I look
I
like. Why the
can't-
fuck would you watch me?
Yeah, exactly. I can't even watch like videos of me after a show. People like share, like tag me in videos on Instagram, and I
You
never
skip it.
watch them. Yeah,
Yeah,
You hate it.
because
yeah.
I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, you're like that's
Cringe.
that's not the angle I want to choose.
No, or not. Like it's like I wouldn't pay for that. Like I would not pay for this.
yeah, because you have the full sound, but like you're
Yeah, in my head, it seems way cooler than what it looks like.
And then it's just like,
And it's like me just like on stage doing my thing. I'm like, cringe. Get this guy off the stage.
and then I do like sometimes I get sent like videos of my stand up, and then like when you do your hair and shit, you're doing this shit. You're looking at yourself forward straight.
Yeah.
Like my hair looks good. And then, or I look good from this angle, and then all of a sudden you get like
Video.
the guy was sitting on the side. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, what the fuck,
is
dude?
that?
Yeah.
Who's that fucking idiot?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's-
Yeah, I hate my profile too.
Yeah. It depends on the angle, dude. You just gotta catch me on my right angle, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. And that's why there's the thing I call like Facebook face. Like if you look at a girl's profile, usually unfortunately it's the girls, guys too. It's everybody. Like if you start like clicking through like a profile picture, the same fucking face happens.
Yeah.
Like they're like on top of Kilimanjaro,
Yeah.
and then like at Sears, it's just it's the same face.
It's true.
bro.
A lot of people have a one face go to
Facebook
that
face.
they use for like every single picture.
Facebook face. Oh, shit. Well, we're taking a picture.
Yeah.
There's this mid smile that really looks good on me.
Yeah. The
But you-
careless kind of like not even trying smile. You know? Yeah, that's the perfect one. That's the one I try to hit every time I smile. I'm like, oh, you just caught me. I'm actually
just in
just in a passive moment of joy.
Yeah,
You know
or
what I'm
like
saying?
the one like I just smoked joint,
yeah.
I'm blowing out, but my I'm sucking in my chin. That's the one.
There's also shots that like I know that like the faces that I know that I will never do again. You know, when I see like I take a picture, and I'm like, oh, that face,
Done.
never again.
that one's out of the bank, bro.
yeah, exactly.
It's done, bro.
Did you guys want to do any topics before we wrap it up?
Bro, we've been going for so long.
Yeah, I know.
already,
It's
bro.
been 2 hours actually.
2 hours.
2 hours.
But with a little
Is that a
15-minute
record?
pee-pee. Nah, is it right?
That's
Yeah, I
good.
think the first time we did the podcast, like our first podcast, was like 3 hours.
6 hours, 7
It was like
hours.
60 hours. I'm having a great time.
Then we're like, no more blow on the podcast.
Yo, you know what it is?
It's like space.
You know what it is? It's the Molly. The Molly on the podcast, it just makes you feel way too good for what the actual situation
Do a
Yeah,
Molly
you-
podcast. I just be like this all the time.
I mean, like, this is great, isn't it? We're having such a good time. Right?
Great topic.
Yeah. Anyways, Yannick, I think we
Hey,
call
it's been
it.
fun.
We call it?
Yeah, I call it.
Yeah, I call it.
We're almost done the sortilege.
Yeah, we
Sortilege.
fucking
Crushed it. You guys crushed that.
Guys, thanks. That was my first like real official
yeah, man.
solid podcast.
I'm happy
so-
that you pulled up and
Yeah,
recurring
I love-
guest, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure, man.
If you
Cheers,
have
boys.
time. Shout out to you.
Pool
Shout out
Boy
to
Show,
everything you
shout
have
out,
going on.
you know.
If you want
Service
anybody,
SVP.com if you guys
Yes.
want to get a job in bar staffing.
say that again.
Service SVP.com. It's
Yeah.
a
Oh,
Montreal
you guys
based.
launched that.
It's like Tinder, but for restaurant jobs.
That's what
You
counts.
just swipe, you swipe on like jobs, and the restaurant will swipe on the candidates, and then it starts a messenger chat. And,
Let's go.
yeah,
That's
It's
sick
a good
stuff.
idea.
Yeah, super
And
dope. And it's free, 100% free. We did that for Montreal, by Montreal.
Bye, Montreal.
Sick.
Guys, thank you for being with us. If you want to support us, throw a like and subscribe. And show this to your friend.
Subscribe, yo.
Thank you, Yannick. Thank you, Sam. We love you. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.